Hello and welcome back to Art, Mind and Soul, a series of videos produced to showcase the work of just a few of the artists whose work is represented in our collections here at Bethlem Museum of the Mind. The first three videos released earlier in the summer featured the work of Brian Charnley, and this video is the third and last about the work of Elise Warriner Paquette. This week we're featuring the installation that I'm standing within, which is called The Fragile Board. This installation was the centerpiece of Paquette's final year art show and provided the viewer with what the artist described as a three-dimensional illustration of anorexia, and specifically an entry into the anxieties of sufferers concerning meal times. The fragile board consists of a table set as if for breakfast, but in such a way as to render it completely impossible to access. The installation is perched on top of floor tiles consisting of large plastic bags filled with breakfast cereal, so it cannot be easily approached. There are no seats to the chairs, and their backs have been fashioned out of barbed wire, forming an impassable barrier to joining the meal. This is to represent the impossibility, the torture, in fact, that is involved with the thought of sitting down to eat or to converse. The artist writes that the heart-breaking element is that the dinner table can be one of the most relationship-bonding places and a fundamental part of what makes for family life in the busyness of everyday living. And she adds that for her, anorexia denied her not only the obvious sustenance from food, but also the sustenance of relationship with those closest and dearest to her. The tabletop in this installation is fashioned from cling film, so that it cannot hold items that have any weight to them. This makes the table a place of unfulfilled potential. And the table setting pieces, the crockery and the cutlery that are there, have been fashioned out of paper mache and banana peel. And as such, they're completely unusable. I could just as easily eat as the fragile knives could cut toast, writes Paquette, or the paper teaspoon stir tea. And my family could just as easily persuade me to join them as the cup hold liquid and the spoons serve food. It would be my hope, she continues, that someone who has no experience or has never had to support someone with an eating disorder would look at this piece and gain some understanding of the fact that not to eat for an anorexic is in reality a feeling of impossibility rather than a choice. In these terms, I believe that this installation is a poignant and breathtaking success. It is indeed heartbreaking to contemplate the pain from which it emerged. But it's encouraging to know as well, as I do, that the artist has found a way to transcend these intensely difficult experiences, and also to inspire others in the recovery and the retention of hope. The immediacy of her artwork is such that its message is easily communicated to viewers, whether or not they know the artist's backstory. When this installation was first put on show here at the museum in 2016, we found that visitors didn't really need much by way of a caption to understand it at a deep level. It has been in store for the last 4 years, but we've just put it out on display again for our current temporary exhibition, All Consuming, which is on the subject of food, mental health and well-being. Ordinarily at the end of these videos, I'd encourage you to check out the offerings in our online shop or ask you to fill out a survey giving your opinion of what we're presenting. As it happens, we don't have a book about Elise Warriner Paquette to sell, though there are books for sale about other art, mind and soul artists, Brian Charnley, who we featured first, and Charlotte Johnson Wall, who we're featuring next. But this time I want to encourage you to do something different. This installation will be on display at the museum for the rest of 2020, and it's far better seen in person than online. So if you can, Book yourself onto one of the many tours we are offering of the museum by following the link at the bottom of the screen now. These tours are carefully managed to be COVID safe, to give you access to our knowledgeable staff and volunteers, and above all to give you up close and personal access to our thought-provoking exhibits. Artworks like the Fragile Board provide us with the opportunity to walk in the shoes of the other people and learn from their perspectives on mental distress and on resilience and on recovery. I hope you'll be able to make the most of that opportunity.